Oh god, what have I gotten myself into? Let's go. Finally, we have a series. I apologize for the extended break, as I'll be honest, Vivid and Oreo, I actually missed them. They got out of game, then they like very quickly got into another game, and I was unable to get into their series. Feels bad, man, but instead we have another one. A bit of a rarity. One of the few Terran players in the entire region. Spawning in the bottom right, we have the Australian Terran player representing Team Mindfreak, the Teal. He is HuT. Oh my, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade ALE, we have the Australian Zerg player, the Green Zerg, representing Legacy Esports. It is Peppy. Once again, two players I have not casted in a very long time. HuT has also been on a hiatus. Both of these players have been on a hiatus ever since last year around October. It was around DreamHack Winter. They played in the qualifiers, but nothing else. So it's been a very long time since I've seen these two. HuT, I will always remember him as being the player who, I mean, I talk about this with Yaku all the time. HuT played in ESL Open Cup Dare. Back in the day, back last year, and he showed up randomly and he won. Like, he beat Pez, he beat Probe, he won the entire event. We were like, oh my god, what's happening? Then he left. And then he just faded into obscurity. Like, not in the sense that his play dropped, but he just didn't sign up again. He just showed up for like 2 weeks, won both of them, and then that's it, he was done. It was, yeah, it was very sad, especially because there are so few Terran players in our region. Sure, we have Seether, sure, we have Azure, and we kind of have Runamuck, and that's it. So we definitely love it whenever HuT does show up. HuT, of course, he's an amazing player. There was even I would even go as far as to say there was a period of time where HuT was arguably the best player in Australia. I remember there was a period where he was just on fire and he was actually like winning things. It was crazy. He was looking so good. What was this? Maybe 2016? Maybe? I can't quite remember. It's been so long. But here he is. He has returned. Meanwhile, he's up against his Zerg opponent, Peppy. Peppy, another player who has also been on a very long hiatus. Feels bad, man. I remember Peppy in the DreamHack Winter qualifiers last year. He was so close to qualifying for the main event, so close, but he got cheesed out by Leah Rusher. Yeah. Like, Peppy was looking so good, and then Leah Rusher, of all players, like, cheeses him out. Ay, ay, ay. If you recall, it was with that proxy gateway, proxy 4 gate even. But yeah, Peppy did not have the best time against Protoss, but luckily there is no Protoss in his way. He did just finish up his series versus Aconsisis, and now he is here up against HuT. A bit of an old rivalry, you know, Mindfreak versus Legacy Esports, two of the biggest teams in Australia for the longest time, and now they are here duking it out in the qualifiers, and we'll see what these guys have in store for us. HuT so far opening up pretty standard, and I'm surprised. Even though HuT hasn't been actively laddering, he has been actively watching. Oh, as he does lose his Reaper there, does get stuck. But yeah, he has been actively watching a lot of StarCraft. I know that much at least. So this is something that we have seen a lot more popular, being that a third CC before starport. But this isn't just a third CC before starport, or second CC, I guess, technically, before starport. He's actually going from his CC into 2 more Raxes, so he's looking to be very, very bio heavy here early on, really going to neglect any kind of medevac or drop play at all to begin with. And Peppy doesn't see anything. Oh my god, that was actually his only overlord across the map. And sure, he saw the natural base, but that's it. He did not get into the main. He didn't see any of the production whatsoever. He doesn't know the timing of the third CC. He doesn't know if he got it early. He doesn't know if he got it at a regular timing. For all he knows, it's a 1-1-1. It could be a 2-1-1. He has no goddamn idea. I mean, he has a decent idea that it isn't a 1-1-1 just because it's only 2 Hellions out. You know, there isn't like 4 or 6 or 8. So he does have some information, but again, it is it's incomplete. So now the ball is in HuT's court. What is he going to do with this? It looks like he's going to be looking to go for a tank push. Ooh, the tank does get revealed. This does tell Peppy a little bit more about what's coming his way. I'm a little bit concerned. I hope he doesn't drone up too much more. Oh god, he's going for double evos from here. He's going to be working on his upgrades. Which means he's going to be delaying his lair. He's going to be delaying Baneling's speed. And this, I'm a little bit concerned for him. At least he does have the Baneliness. He didn't skip that entirely, so he does have Banelings defensively. But this push, it's going to move out soon. I imagine he's going to want to hit a stim timing, maybe with Medivacs. But we'll see. We'll see. Because of the third CC, he may just be looking to expand from here, and he's just being ultra defensive. I'm just really curious how HuT is. Yeah, HuT even throws down 2 NG bays. Okay, never mind. I thought he was going to push out with tanks and a bunch of Marines and just end the game, and I think he probably could have, to be honest. Just with how little there is, and the fact that Peppy has no scouting information whatsoever out here. He has 1 Ling across the map. So I do think there was potential there for HuT, but instead he stays defensively at home. He just makes sure he doesn't die. He's expanding, taking his third base, working on 1-1, which still is a ways off. Interestingly, he does move out with his Marines. I mean, Stim is about to finish up, and the Medivacs are about to move out to meet up with them, maybe? Not too sure. Okay. Instead, the Marines just clear out a couple of Lings. It does notify Peppy that, hey, his Marines are being active out here. I need to morph in a couple of Banelings defensively. I need to make sure I don't die horribly to any kind of push. But nicely done here by HuT. You know, he does deny all this scouting information. Finally, the 2 Medivacs do meet up with the army. Again, Baneling speed isn't close to being done, so let's see how good HuT's micro is here. How good his focus fire, his splits. Oh, solid focus fire so far. Only loses 1 Marine to a Baneling. Nicely done there by HuT. Doesn't lose too much at all. Does rotate around, take out more Lings here, denying more scouting information. But again, Peppy, he's okay with this. Like, he just wants to survive, wait long enough for his upgrades to kick in, waits. I mean, his lair is done. He's working on another hatchery. I love this. Peppy's actually playing a more Ling Bane straight into Hive style. Like, he's avoiding the Mutalisk. Sorry, he's avoiding the Spire and the Hydrogen. Oh my god, the focus fire though. And this is something that you can really abuse just because of how late the Baneling speed is, and I have to eat my words a little bit. He actually is still going for a Spire. Again, just a little bit late. The lair was done for a little bit of time there, so both the Spire and the Bane speed is a little bit later than he would have liked. Because of that, we saw HuT focus fire those Banelings beautifully there at the 4th base. And here we go, 2-2 is on the way. This is the great thing about what Peppy's going for, is that, you know, he's focusing so much on his upgrades. He will have a massive upgrade lead. But HuT is pushing out, finally, with his tanks. 4 tanks across the map. We've got 4 Medivacs as well. We've got a bunch of Marines. And Baneling speed is not done. It's going to be so difficult to break the Terran position. And here we go, the Marines are pushing on forward. 2 Queens immediately go down. We have a lot of Banelings, but again, they're slow. What the hell are they going to do? Die, mate. They're gonna waddle in and die. The Ling Bane is forced back. The base does go down. We do have another drop here. A couple of drones did go down, but only 2. It's not the biggest of deal. What is the biggest of deals is that the 4th base is down. Thankfully for Peppy, he has a macro hatchery, so his production isn't hindered too much. It's mainly his economy, and we do see he gives up that position. He expands here towards the southern side of the map. Ooh, even going for a massive Ling run by, but yo, the reinforcements are here for HuT. HuT catches all those Lings, does push them away. And now HuT is rotating towards the southern half of the map. He's rotating towards the new 4th base. All these Lings just go through a meat grinder. They all go down. Meanwhile, Baneling speed finally kicks in. But so many Lings have already gone down. The buffer for the Banelings have gone down. The Mutas are coming up, but mate, there's just so much man with gun, and man with gun is all you need. Here we go. All the tanks are coming in as well. Still nothing but tanks. HuT chose not to switch into Widowmines, which, I mean, I would personally love Widowmines against Lingbane Muta, but regardless, tanks are still a great anchor point, and he's got plenty of Marines. Oh my god, they're just rallying all over each other. The mineral line gets taken out as well. The 3rd base goes down. Peppy knows he cannot fight that, so he just goes for a massive counter attack. He will force a lift up at the 3rd base. These Mutas, they could pick off this tank as well, and we may end up in a pseudo base trade. The Banelings are still here to— oh no, don't run in! Banelings, like, they get decent connections, but that was kind of a waste. More Banelings are trickling in. Peppy, please! Oh my god! Thankfully for Peppy, that was not intentional, but HuT was not splitting. So honestly, pretty good connections there, but god, there's nothing stopping the Marine Force. Meanwhile, the Lings are breaking into the main base of HuT, but there's only a handful of mutas left, only a handful of Lings. Marines are actually coming back home to defend and actually take out these mutalisks. Oh god, no. Okay, Peppy, he takes notes. He does back off with his mutas. Meanwhile, the natural is dead. We do have Peppy with 2 more expansions out here, and he is trying to muster it. Oh no, he doesn't have a bathing nest. I was about to say maybe he's going to try and morph as many banelings as he can at home, but there is no bathing nest, no banelings whatsoever. The Marines, they come back home. They will be able to clean all of these Lings up. The Lings are just trying to deal whatever damage they can, but again, there's just not that much there for them to do. They take out the armory, they take out one of the NG bays. That's great and all, I guess, but it all gets cleaned up. HuT, he still has a CC. I just realized he actually has 1 CC. He only has 1 base remaining. Like, yo, Peppy dealt a surprising amount of damage here. The only reason HuT isn't pushing in is because I'm sure he thinks there are banelings waiting for him. I'm surprised that Peppy hasn't made a baneling nest. Enough time has passed where he maybe could have. Instead, he wants to dive in with Lings and mutas. The mutas did come back home. Yo, there's not that many Marines. Maybe Peppy can try and break this and kill all the anti-air. He's going in with the Broodlings. All the Lings are trying to get on top of the Marines, and it looks like there are enough mutas to kill every single Marine. And now that all the Marines are dead, so are the tanks and the medevacs. HuT, these Marines, they needed to be there to protect those tanks, and now because his army was kind of split up and fragmented, Peppy was able to take advantage of that. And now, like, things are not looking so good for HuT. HuT, he's on 1 base. He has the army, but Peppy, he's got some banelings. He's got a handful of banelings here. Yo, like, Peppy, he can still take this. Like, there's nothing here at home. Like, HuT's push across the map, I thought could end the game. But Peppy's counterattack, I personally underestimated it. I guess HuT probably underestimated it as well. And I don't know if HuT can win the game with just this Bioforce. The mutas, they take out the CC. HuT's going to be revealed. He's going to be eliminated soon once all his buildings go down. Meanwhile, the Marines are pushing into the natural base. Only 3 banelings. How good is the focus fire? Beautiful. All 3 banelings go down, but there are enough Lings. GG gets called, and Peppy takes game 1. Wow. I thought Peppy was dead, mate. I thought he was dead. I knew that he couldn't fight the army, and so did he, so he just avoided the army. Wow, GG. HuT playing AoE 2 with guns. HuT will beat Peppy like Broncos beat the Titans last night. Oh god. Ay. The NFL references are coming out. NFL? NRL. Oh god. Alright, here we go. Getting ready for game number 2. Just getting all the players in here. But honestly, like, yo, HuT was looking good there. Like, wow. Just wow. Let's go. We are diving into game number 2. We'll be on Oxide, map of choice. Oh, meanwhile, I need to update the Twitch title. Thank you for reminding me, Steel. I apologize. But here we go. We are spawning in on game number 2, and it's going to be on Oxide LE. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Australian Terran player representing Team Mindfreak, returning after a long hiatus. It is HuT. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Australian Zerg player representing Legacy Esports. It is Peppy. And what a game 1. We ended up in a solid base trade. I was really worried for Peppy there. You know, I was worried he didn't have any baneling nests, didn't have any banelings. and he couldn't fight the main army. But you know what? The main army also wasn't that big either, and HuT kind of left himself exposed. He went back home to defend, which may have been the right call, but maybe he should have just taken everything to defend. Maybe he should have just gone back home entirely, and defended at home with Marines and tanks, and maybe gone into a longer game from there, or tried to like reestablish his economy. Because Peppy was hurting. He was hurting hard. So I guess both players were, to be fair. But yeah, wow, what a game one. And here we go. Now we are in game number 2. So far, nothing cheeky. I was a little bit concerned when the series started, because Peppy was like, yo, I'm gonna 14 pull you, and like both players looked just kind of like having a little bit of a back and forth. It was really cool to see. Again, the Australian scene is very close-knit. All these guys, they know each other, and they've even been receptive of some of these newer players like Starduck as well, recently coming into the fold. And we'll see how this plays out. We shall see, as so far everything's pretty standard by HuT. He does open up with his Reaper, is going across the map. Meanwhile, Peppy didn't go for an early pull or anything crazy like that. He is looking to head towards that third base and take it. Looks like the Reaper may get there in time. Will he see it? No, he does not check. He does not spot it. The drone does hide over behind the gas geyser, just trying to stay hidden from that Reaper. And the Reaper is a little bit distracted. I'm a little bit, yeah, is distracted by these Lings. HuT has no idea about that third base, or the potential third. He's just trying to deal whatever damage he can. Does get forced away, and Peppy goes in. He's gonna take his third. Oh! Just in time. Meanwhile, back at home, I'm really curious to see if HuT goes for something similar again. I know he's definitely the kind of player who can mix things up. Something that I love, it's all coming back to me. All the HuT series are coming back to me. It was really interesting when HuT had his insane run in the ESL Dare Cup. In TVZ, he actually went 1-1-1 into Raven. Which is something that no one was really doing. It was like just not in fashion whatsoever. He would come in with his Raven, you know, he would deal like order turret harassment, he would clear creep, and he would push out with his army, and it was just something that people didn't really do at the time. And it was great. Like, again, he won his tournament off of that. So we'll see if he does something similar here, or if he goes for Cloak. Opening up, there we go. Cloak is on the way, starting off with a Viking. Meanwhile, HuT's just poking at the natural base, trying to see what damage he can get done. He only has 2 Hellions here though, so not too much. 2 more Hellions are on the way though, to meet up with the rest of his army. Meanwhile, Peppy isn't cutting too many corners. He does have the Baneliness on the way, just in case, so he can morph in some Banelings defensively. And so far, HuT hasn't really been able to do too much. The Lings are here up the ramp as well, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to really sneak past them. Will he try to anyway? He does poke forward, and he actually is going to clean up all the Lings. There were not enough Lings here, so he does break into the natural base, go into the mineral line. Oh my god. And with this, 5 drones so far are going down. Lings are about to pop out from those eggs, and just in time are going to clean everything up. But not before losing 6 workers. Ay. There we go. We do have the Banshee coming out here. We do have Stim on the way, so HuT isn't going for mech or anything crazy like that. That was the other thing I was going to touch on, is that I don't think I've seen HuT go mech before. Maybe he has in the past, but I don't really recall. He isn't really that kind of player, so yeah, committing to that Stim. And looking to multi-prong a little bit. He's moving out with his Hellions at the same time. His Banshee is moving out as well. He's working on a second Banshee as well. Cloak did finish. And once again, just like in game number 1, Peppy is going for those double Evo chambers. He is going for his upgrades, delaying his lair a little bit. But again, if he can get away with the faster Evo chambers, then it's totally worth it. While the Lings are getting cleaned up here, HuT does lose a handful of Banshees, but it's not the biggest of deals. Sorry, a handful of Hellions. It's not the biggest of deals. Right now, he's just distracting the Queens as the Banshees can dive in, but opts not to go for that. Meanwhile, the Viking is getting a couple of kills. Already one Overlord kill, about to get a second. But the Queens are still here at the third base. There's a Spore as well, so Peppy is ready for any kind of Banshee play. I was just quickly checking his vision, and he did spot the 1-1-1. He did see the Tech Lab researching, so he's aware. He's completely aware and ready for the Cloak Banshees. Is he ready for 2 though? Because even if there's a Spore, these can take down some workers. And yeah, he does force all the drones off the line. Nice reaction time there by Peppy. Oh boy, oh my god, there's actually not enough energy for transfuse. Oh my god. And they were just out of range as well, so one queen falls, a second queen is gonna fall as well. I did not expect these Banshees to deal that much damage. Feels bad, man, for Peppy already losing 2 queens. To be fair, he still has plenty more queens behind this, so he should be fine. But this is hurting his creep spread. He doesn't have any active queens out on the map. Some of the tumors are being taken out, but finally the Overseer is morphed in and Peppy can push away these Banshees. There we go. We do have Baneling's speed on the way. This time he didn't delay it. This time he didn't prioritize his Spire like he did in game number 1. So this is a little bit faster, a little bit safer. And this is going to be great because HuT, he's pushing out with his army, with his Marines, with his tanks. They meet up with the Banshees. Very interesting decision here. He's actually pushing out without any medevacs. The medevacs, they're on the way, but they're not done yet. So every stim will hurt that much harder here for HuT. Meanwhile, there weren't any Banelings pre-morphed. They are on the way. They need a little bit more time, but they should be ready for this. And HuT doesn't risk it. He doesn't dive deep into creep. Does back off instead. And honestly, I respect this decision, especially because he didn't have any medevacs either. Like, it's so risky to push into creep. It does rotate around, clear some more creep, avoids the Banelings. Meanwhile, the Lings, yo, they can head towards that third base, and there isn't much here. Oh no. Alright, the Ling Bane, he actually doesn't go for the third, could go into the natural instead, but there is a tank here. It's, yeah, Ling Bane is forced away. Oh my god, the Banelings are actually going to be caught out by the Banshees. Oh no. Oh god, and the Marines as well. This is a pretty big loss here by Peppy. Peppy just lost a bunch of Ling Bane for free. Meanwhile, we still have a massive Ling Bane army here. He was thinking about maybe going for a counterattack, but he does stay back. Meanwhile, the 4th is under threat, and the 4th will go down. Oh, or will it? Yeah. It goes down. Peppy, he had decent creep spread over here on the right-hand side of the map, not so much on the left, and because of that, his base was exposed. Meanwhile, just like game number 1, Peppy, he does not want to fight with the main army. Instead, he goes for a massive counterattack, takes down the tank. And oh my god, he's going to be able to take down these SCVs as well. Can they get into the medevac? 14 SCVs go down, only 1 full medevac does escape. Really nice reaction there by HuT to save whatever he could, but still, he sustained a lot of losses. Thankfully, he did still hold on to a CC, and his army does come back home. Peppy is still stuck on 3 hatcheries, by the way. He has not retaken another 4th. It is on the way. Meanwhile, HuT has to be careful not to be caught on siege. Okay, he does just barely siege up. Is it in time, though? The Ling Bane is coming in. There are so many Banelings. They crash into tanks, but it doesn't even matter. As long as they deal some damage, they crash into even more tanks. There's just not enough fire here. Oh, just barely. And I'm honestly surprised 1 tank did survive. And that's kind of the problem with morphing in that many Banelings, is that Peppy's army was basically pure Baneling. There weren't any Lings there, so there was like nothing to really back that up, and that was a lot of gas. I'm a little bit worried for Peppy. Like that, like again, twice now he's lost like massive Ling Bane armies, and he hasn't really been able to trade as efficiently as he would have liked. Meanwhile, we do have a drop here in the main base. The Marines do land, but oh, they do get taken out by the Ling Bane. Meanwhile, at the same time, a small Ling run by, honestly, gets a couple of worker kills. It will get cleaned up, and I love this. Unlike game number 1, HuT, he is transitioning into Widow Mines, not relying on those tanks, and Widow Mines are going to help so much against not just the Ling Bane, but also the mutas that are on the way. as the Mutalisks do pop out. Unfortunately, there's no sensor tower, and I don't believe HuT has actually scouted. No, okay. He did see the Spire. He was able to spot that earlier with his drop. He doesn't have any Widow Mines. Sorry, he doesn't have any Missile Turrets, but he does have Widow Mines. Oh. One shot does go off, but there was only one Widow Mine there. It does summon up the Mutants, so the Marines can clean up, and Mutalisks are starting to fall. At the same time, the main army of HuT pushes towards the 4th base. Once again, Banelings are being morphed in. No, they're trapping the Queens! The Queens do go down. Forces the Ling Bane to rush in, but honestly, there's not that much. There's just not enough Banelings there. A couple more do morph in, and maybe Peppy has enough, but he's not liking his chances. He backs off, and once again, the 4th base does go down. For the second time this game. And now Peppy, he wants to go for a counterattack, but yo, there are defensive Widow Mines. Oh my god, the friendly fire though, all the Marines go down. There's only a handful left, and all the Widow Mine shots were baited by the Mutas, and now the Banelings are crashing in. Again, not the most efficient trades there, but the Banelings are looking to get into the mineral line. Actually go for the Marines instead. It looks like all these things are going to get cleaned up, but they're dealing a lot of damage. Meanwhile, HuT does drop into the main base. He actually sniped the Spire. The Spire goes down. No more Mutants, and the Lair gets focused down as well. This time HuT had enough to defend due to these Widow Mines, as they will be resetting, and Peppy didn't, he sent everything across the map. He has nothing here at home. He's expanding, he's got workers, but that's literally it. A couple of Banelings do morph in and they crash, which is great and all, but he's losing the 3rd. GG gets called. Peppy's army supply was 4 at the end of that game. And HuT ties up the series 1-1. And I will be joined. I will be joined by a fellow Duckling. I have been solo casting up until now. Quirky was actually competing and playing in the tournaments. But it does seem like he has finished up his matches, and Quirky, my fellow Australian Duckling, will be joining me for the rest of the broadcast.
Yes, I will. Aha.
Welcome, Quirky. Welcome. How did your games go?
Not the best.
I mean, to be fair, you did go up against, players who even qualified already, like Crimson, right?
And yeah, should have went Protoss for that series. May threw him through a loop. The current meta, but no, I'm glad to see that he qualified. So
yeah. I was surprised, honestly. I was not expecting it. Wow, crazy results
you have
already.
little faith, like.
It's true. It's very true. But I mean, I'm also kind of biased with Chase as well. I was hoping that he would make it through. But it's always exciting to see an old player returning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great to see them come back and do as well as they have been. Mm-hmm. And particularly since, most of our top current players have already been invited. Mm-hmm. So it really is a scrap to see who can get these, the last 12 spots here.
Yeah, exactly. It's really up for grabs for anyone, especially when there's no seeding.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when we get team kills in the first round.
I know, I was so sad. I was so sad when the first round happened and Starduck went up against Oreo. Feels bad, man.
I mean, it happens. I mean, so it's not much we can do. Mm-hmm. So. Oh, sorry.
Oh, all good. The lobby is being made. We're still waiting for Peppy to join as well, so we still have a little bit of time here. But I know there was a little bit of a stream delay, but at the moment our 2 players are tied up 1-1.
Yes, I did see the end of that match. Though I got surprised because I really wasn't paying attention to Discord. I was just watching the stream. And all of a sudden, your voice guy was like, "Oh God, oh."
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you for joining me today. And what would you say? Who would you say is like? Is there even a favorite in this series? Like
No, I wouldn't say there's a favorite. Unless they are your favorite, in which case, yes, there is a favorite. But yeah, it's such an even matchup. Like we don't see Peppy, as you were saying, like we don't see Peppy that often. HuT as well. Caught you talking about when HuT came in and won the ESL Open Cup after having played. So I will have to say at this current moment, with the way the meta is running at the moment, TVZ is such I want to say an even matchup than it was, back when Broodlord Athesta was the way to go back in the day. It really opens up a variety of plays for the Terran. You can either go for that bias style, but I do feel like Mech's a little underpowered at this moment, unless the Zerg is more passive.
Yeah, definitely. I was touching on that earlier. I don't know if this Terran player here is one to go for something like Mech, but we shall see. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, tied up 1-1 in this best-of-5 qualifying match, we have the Australian Terran. He is HuT, representing Mindfreak.
And spawning in the bottom right, the Green Zerg, representing Legacy Esports and Australia. Give it up for Peppy. It's been a while, mate.
It's been a while. It's been a while since we've casted together. And I would love to get into it, but both these players are doing something crazy.
Yeah. An early pull with a double Rax. And this Rax could potentially get spotted by the Overlord.
Yeah. Again, the rushes is by air.
No, it won't.
Oh god. Yeah, he's only going to be checking the ramp.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. So okay. So Peppy, he didn't just go for an earlier pull. He actually went for a gas before pull. So that means he does have enough gas now to start Ling speed if he wanted to. We'll see. Maybe he wants to go straight into roaches. Oh, okay, there we go.
There you go. Yeah, he had 2 on gas. So it wasn't as fast, but still, it's just annoying that Peppy still hasn't seen the second Rax.
Oh god, exactly. Like so far, everything that Peppy's seen is pretty normal, right? Like nothing is really out of the ordinary. Like he's so close to spotting. Oh, he sees it! He sees it!
Oh my god! And what do you think immediately? Do you get more drones back into that gas? Get the Banelings out early?
That'd be insane, mate. I don't know if you want Banelings to defend against Reapers. I imagine Reapers going to be coming out. I say that
it's
actually
2 Reapers.
Yeah, and he's switching to Marines.
Okay, 2 Reaper. I assume I think this may just be an early pressure build here. Because he is getting the natural now, so this does seem to be. I think maybe we might see some Reaper Hellion play come in, like, early TVT style, because he has gone for the 3 Reapers.
Yeah, this is very interesting. Like, I'm sure HuT was like hoping to catch his opponent off guard and come in with 2 Reapers, but he was not expecting such an early Queen because of the early pool, right? So like these Reapers just haven't been able to achieve anything, and Link speed is already done.
Yeah, already losing 1 Reaper now. Now the Link's trying to get this around. The Queen's adding extra damage, but all these Reapers are gonna fall late. Immediately advantage back into Peppy's advantage here, and the Evo Chamber in the mineral line.
I love it. I love how he's using his early gas not only to get Link speed, but also for his upgrades as well, looking to Link flood his opponent.
Yeah, one cheese in favor of another, as we do have the bunker being situated, but is it going to be done inside? The Marines have to be careful, and the SEV in the right spot there. The Marines will be able to get in. And the CC will be done as well. Hellion's out, and HuT's going to be safe here.
Yeah, honestly,
I think I might know what this is. I saw 3 Overlords being made, but I didn't see the layer, so I was thinking, could this be a +1 Ling Overlord drop?
That'd be insane. That'd be absolutely insane. Unfortunately, Peppy actually hasn't been mining. There we go. Finally, he gets a couple of more drones on that gas. But honestly, it was really smart of HuT to go for that bunker. Honestly, if the bunker didn't finish up when it did, like the Lings would have gone in, he would have killed all the Marines and then denied all this mining. So HuT is able to transition from his initial opening, you know, working on his upgrades. But I do still feel like Peppy has the advantage here, just like shutting down HuT so early on.
Yeah, and getting that third base. Hellions are out, so he has to be careful. But he is going for that Roach Roaring. Right, is going to be the bio play again. And it's a matter of whether HuT can get this vision down, see that it's Roaches, and you get the appropriate setup in time. But Queen's in a nice position, and this is what I do love about Blackbird. You know, even though it's pretty much just a vertical mirror here, it is somewhat a bit choky in between the gap between that fourth and the natural, where pretty much where those two queens are. There's a good amount of gap, and it's really good for like defending here.
Yeah, and because of that, HuT hasn't been able to like slip his Hellions into the natural, and he just hasn't seen anything since the beginning of the game. It's one of those things where as a Terran player, like you always have to like debate in your head, like, do I risk a scan? Do I want to waste the scan? Is it worth it? What if I scan and I miss the tech? Like it's always so difficult to really scout like what your opponent's doing when you get denied like this.
Yeah. Well, it's like for now, both sides are just going to be playing the passive game. Second Evo chamber going down for Peppy, so he wants to Carapace pretty quickly. His game also Lair almost finished up, so looks to be maybe a +1 Roach timing here for our Zerg.
Yeah, and like normally, like again, if this is scouted, then HuT should be fine. But he just hasn't seen the Roach Warren. He has no idea what is coming his way. There are roaches here with the Queen, so maybe he'll spot them.
He should see it. Yeah, he should see it. Yeah, he sees it with the Viking, so he knows that is roaches. But oh, I love this. That's why that Viking was there. It's a drop into the main, and there's no creep at that little patch. That little outcropping, so he could drop. Oh, and I do love this.
This
great
is one of the
positioning.
the great features of Blackburn is that low ground. It is enough for those tanks to siege up safely, and now HuT, he's been able to drop here into the main, and there isn't that much here. There are no Banelings to prepare, only roaches.
Yeah, and actually, he's not going to win against these roaches since they do have +1, but he can pull back to the tanks. And yeah, and now Peppy knows that there's tanks on the low ground, so he may have to be careful with trying to re-engage back into this bio.
Yeah, and what's important is that like he's like been able to snipe off a couple of units here and there, but he's also keeping Peppy busy at home. I'm sure Peppy would have loved to hit some kind of timing with Roach Speed, and Roach Speed is about to finish up, but he's just like forced to stay here.
Yeah, tank siege up. The two that were originally on the low ground there, well, managed to get killed off, so this push not as great here for HuT, but can still do a lot of damage. At least he'll get the creep cleared up around this potential fourth location.
Yeah, exactly. Like again, he's just keeping Peppy busy. Finally, he is able to split up his army, and he is sending Lings across the map. At home, I was a little bit concerned about HuT. He does already have his 3rd CC, hasn't landed it yet, but he is working towards that, and he's just continuing to reinforce with his drops. Oh my god.
Yeah, now even getting the tank up onto the high ground here, getting it pretty much arguably a better siege positioning, and that's a lot of queens there, Light.
Oh god, a lot of queens. The roaches were not in position. Finally, the roaches are coming in, but losing a queen like that hurts so much, but it looks like there is just barely enough to push HuT away.
Just barely. It's looking to just, for Peppy now, just to stay on that Ling Roach Ravager tech for the moment, not like teching into some Hydralist, not even the Banelings, which are surprising. It's, oh no, he has to be careful! The Ravagers!
Oh god. Oh god.
Peppy!
the Ravagers, the army does get spotted, but there's nothing behind the wall, it's not a wall!
Oh, this may have been a miscalculation on the timing of the move out here for Peppy, as Ling streaming on inlet. This is not looking good.
Not at all. Thankfully, all the Lings are getting cleaned up, but there's still Roaches and Ravagers. There's no high ground vision, though, so that tank is dealing a lot of damage, and it is just barely enough to push away Peppy. Meanwhile, the drop did try to deal some damage across the map, but there were plenty of Queens to defend.
Plenty of Queens. The third getting barred down, but he's going to be all right for now. That fourth of Peppy just getting sieged up a bit here by the Marines, but looks like it did get fended off. And I mean, like, you know, we've had this map pool now for a couple of weeks. On this map, on Blackburn, as a Zerg, do you take that gold base as your fourth? Because I do.
Oh, yeah. as your fourth, mate. I see people taking that as their natural, mate.
I've seen people taking my gold base as a natural.
Oh, God. It does feel like a stylistic thing. Obviously, there are risks at taking that gold base. Obviously, there are certain Zerg players like me and Micah, even Gogo Joey, who love taking it. But so far, yeah.
I mean, that was my next question is, what base does me and Micah take as its attributes? Oh, beautiful drop coming in here into the main for Peppy has oh no, does get the cancel, but Spy Tech does get delayed here. Maybe even this macro hatch as well.
Oh my God.
Peppy, but looks like it should be held and actually not going for those Evo chambers.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Much well delay +2 melee and carapace there.
I mean, we do have a couple of balls, and oh my God. That is the risk you take at trying to drop with these slow zones, and we see the map come into play there. Nice biles by Peppy.
Good foresight there. As another big drop coming in from HuT, heading towards that fourth, and you know, this is good work from HuT, you know, keeping pressure on Peppy, who is droning up to take that fifth at any moment, and he is going to take the gold base as the fifth, and that, with this current drop that's coming in, very, very dangerous.
Exactly. Something that Peppy is really lacking right now. Oh my God, he actually pulls it. Oh my God, he almost pulled some boys. Ay. The army was completely out of position, and 5 workers go down, a bunch of Queens go down, but finally Peppy, he does respond.
Spy's finished, but I feel like that's not the correct tech choice, especially seeing it is, you know, that bio tank playstyle, and if HuT does get enough Marines, you know, it is not going to be enough for the mutas to break like any siege position that HuT may have.
Yeah, I guess I understand the reasoning for Peppy, just because like HuT has been dropping all over the place, and Peppy has been struggling to keep up with the drops. Like, they've been dealing a lot of damage. So I'm sure he does want to try and shut them down, try and force HuT to be a little bit more conservative. But I agree, like, yo, there's a lot of upgraded Marines, but oh my God, the Marines is still full!
Oh! All right, he dropped his main army, but the tanks, because of that drop, are in the front at least are in such a bad position. 2 of them do get taken out. But this is just way too much bio here for Peppy to deal with. Nice bios, does take out some of the medevacs and possibly a tank there. I didn't really see, but Peppy has to be very, very careful. Has got the Baneling Nest now, Baneling Speed on the way. And as we saw in game 1, you know, Baneling Speed may be way too late here.
Exactly, and this is the great thing about what HuT's going for, and the risky thing about Peppy is that, oh my God, the Ravagers, they are stuck. The problem is that there's no Banelings. It's so difficult to deal with this Fire Force. The Banelings finally finish up. They're waddling in.
Yeah, there is enough here to actually deal with this, as the medevacs all but the reinforcing tank actually get picked off there. So good work from Peppy to fend off that push, and HuT's still on that third base. I mean, this is just real, like, slugfest at the moment.
Yeah, well, I'm really concerned for HuT there. Like, HuT has been very aggressive, which is great, and he's been dealing a lot of damage, but look at the worker count. Like, HuT, it's kind of like he's been all in this entire time. Like, he hasn't lost a lot of SCVs, he just hasn't been making them. Like, that's why his worker count is so low. He just hasn't been producing. He hasn't been focusing on his economy at all. He's just been trying to, like, roll over his opponents, and it almost worked barely, but it's just not. And now Peppy's getting further and further ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his 6th base now. 7 hatch play coming down like it's Brood War. He has got that macro hatch in his main as well to help with, you know, getting the units out. +2 ranged on the way, +1 flying weapons as well. On its way here for Peppy. And I just feel like maybe this isn't the play here. Or at least, you know, getting this so aggro focused, you know, getting the army out and actually catching these mutants actually may be a big pickup here for HuT. Picks up a majority of them, only 3 surviving, 1 barely.
Exactly. Really nicely done there by HuT. Also, I need to point out how desperate HuT is being right now. This is his main base. He lifted up his main and he flew it all the way over. Like, it goes to show, like, HuT is well aware, like, he needs money, and thankfully we're on Blackburn, so, you know, this gold base will be able to kick in and we'll be able to supplement the fact that he's just been on so low eco for so long. The other thing is that, honestly, there's not that much creep
He's going
spread.
for a Doom drop.
Yeah, he's going for it. But the armies are missing each other.
They are, and I do love this. The file play coming in. Yeah, you just have to abandon that base, and that's the problem with, like, when most of your, when you only have pretty much just 2 bases, and one of them is a gold base with a very, very harassable mineral line. Good sling, but not really enough. It's there goes the Ling run by into the main and natural.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's lings all over the place. They're at the gold, and now finally, as you were saying, the drop comes into the main base of Peppy, and once again, we're in this, like, pseudo base trade scenario. Yeah,
we are, but I really got to give the advantage to Peppy here. 49 workers already killed off. HuT has no workers. He only has 1 floating base at the moment. That is his only saving grace. He needs to kill Peppy right now. He will get the hive, he will get the spawning pool, but is it going to be enough? He is going to get all the tech, and that may be it. Actually, if there are no flying units, Peppy knows that flying units are going to be his only like saving grace at the moment, as you know, terror units that can fly. And look at the bases that Peppy's taking now. He's taking he's taking a gold base!
That's the problem, right? Like, sure, HuT can lift up his buildings, and sure, he killed the Spire, so there's no more mutas. But at the end of the day, like, HuT has so much to work through. Like, there are just hatcheries all over the place. Like, it's gonna take forever to take everything down. At the same time, maybe with good enough micro, HuT, but nah, mate, that's it.
No, not much. GG.
And Peppy, he takes the lead in the series. Oh boy. I just love how you mentioned how it was kind of like a slugfest earlier. Like, I love how close these players are. And again, that wasn't the first time where both players just ignored each other's armies and just went for the base trade.
Yeah. That's just absolutely just out of control for that game. You know, that hold from Peppy where it was like this 5 tanks in the middle of the map, where it looked like, you know, Peppy had no army at all and HuT could just march across the map. That hold was actually really key. As we are going into Beckett for our 3rd map, sorry, our 4th map, I should say. And potentially our final map here, if Peppy can take a hold of this game.
Yeah, exactly. Peppy, he just needs 1 more win to take the entire series and to qualify for ANZ Champs. Meanwhile, HuT, he's up against the wall, right? He cannot lose from here, otherwise he gets knocked down to the lower half of the bracket, or to the lower bracket.
Yeah. Lobby.
The lobby has been made. Players are ready. We are diving on in, and oh my god. Again, like, I don't know if you've been able to cast much of the new map pool, but we are on the new submarine.
Yes, Beckett. I am both. I still haven't made up my mind about this map yet. Whether I like it yet or not. To be fair, I like actually most of the new maps in the map pool. This is still the one that I haven't made up my mind yet, but, you know, we'll get into that soon. into that discussion soon.
That we will, as we are spawning in on Beckett Industries LE, and in the top right hand corner we have the Australian Terran player representing Team Mind Freaks, currently down 1-2 in this best of 5 qualifying match. It is HuT.
And spawning in the bottom left, once again going for an early pull here. He is representing Legacy Esports and the nation of Australia. Give it up for Peppy.
Hey, Peppy's dirty. We were talking about it. This is the smallest rush distance map in the map pool, and he's going for, it wasn't quite a 13-12, but again, a very early pool, very early gas.
Yeah, actually not even going for the hatchery as well. He is just going straight full aggressive mode. And the fact that hasn't really sent the scout yet. You usually don't send it after that Rax is done, and there it is. And it may be a bit too late here for HuT. Peppy, he wants to finish this early. He wants to go home. Even though I just got word that we are continuing to play for seeding.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh god.
If anything, but the Discord's going for.
That's. Oh boy. All right. Well, we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah.
God damn it. That was yeah. Interesting. I was concerned that would happen earlier, and I looked at the rules, and it said like qualifying matches are best of 5. It said nothing about continuing on, but oh boy. Okay.
And it's going to be a best of 5 as well for the seeding matches.
Did they really say that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Discord.
As the links are here for Peppy. Peppy so far he has been able to delay the CC.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well. Yeah, and double Reaper coming out will help against this early Ling aggression. More Lings on the way. Ling speed is finished, but 4 Lings against 2 Reapers, you gotta put it in favor of the Terran at holding this. Unless those Lings, just dart across the map now, but I highly doubt. Ooh, will still continue to delay the CC.
Yeah, really nicely done there by Peppy. HuT, because he was able to scout this pretty early on, he was able to keep his Reaper at home, and there hasn't been too much damage done other than those delays. Meanwhile, Peppy actually made another wave of Lings. Like he wants to continue to delay this natural.
Yeah, and he is getting the third, it looks like, as well. So, nice round of these Reapers. Is there anything else? It's just one Hellion coming out for the defense now, because that reactor's being made on the barracks, and even then, where are the SCVs to repair?
Oh god, one lone SCV is on the way for each supply depot.
One SCV is all you need.
Oh god, yes it is, as the Hellion just barely does come out, but I'm really worried about this CC. It's gonna be forced to be cancelled.
Yeah. And does get the cancel, and even gonna get the recall, or reclamation at least, on the bunker as well, so yeah, I mean, you gotta feel for HuT. We've all been in those situations where we've been early rushed, had to give up your natural, and there's not really much you can do except, try and hold on as best you can, try and retake that natural, and with whatever army you can. Oh, that was so close.
Thankfully, that depot didn't get raised. I mean, HuT had the tools to defend. If you recall, the bunker was done. It's just he didn't have any units in it, and that was really, really quick decision making there by Peppy, just surround the Reapers before they could get in there.
Yeah, really good micro, and now the reactor is done. Once that Hellion is done, we'll get swapped over, and now, with these Hellions out on the map control is firmly back into HuT's hands.
That it is, but like, you know, what can he really do with this? He has 4 Hellions. To be fair, he's working on another 2. I'm working on a medevac, so potentially could drop or try and drop into the main base. Like, he needs to do something. Like, he's in a very desperate scenario right now. He has to deal some kind of damage to Peppy, because right now Peppy, he's just been able to get away with so much.
Yeah. Hopefully he may get away with much more, as they may go for a cheeky 4th base. Feel like, but ooh, the Hellion drop. Actually, did he get an armory with that? No, it doesn't look like. So it won't be a Hellbat drop.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
now he's getting the armory.
Yeah, the army is too late for like a Hellbat drop, unfortunately. Maybe HuT forgot it. Maybe it's like crossing his mind now, like, you know what, I'm gonna have to like turtle up instead.
Or maybe he's transitioning into mech.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Like, desperate scenario calls for desperate solutions here. Oh boy, but the Hellions are in the main.
Ooh, yeah, they are. 2 drones. Can he get any more? The Lings are there. We'll pick up. That's managed to save all 4 Hellions. So see, I think he did see the roaches as well, so he does know that it's roach play coming out, and that does slightly favor Battle Mech more if he does decide to actually go for this, which I think he has. Yeah, he has. Nope, he's just getting a reactor onto the starport and to the factory. So may switch into bioplay again. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's getting a.
He's working on stim. It does look like, you know, the Hellbats, to be fair, they can do really well at buffering against Banelings for the bio, but as you said, because Peppy's going for roaches against Hellbats, like, roaches are ideal. The question is, does he have any ready for this drop?
Oh, he's already attacking into the natural with this, and there's nothing here for the defense. 1 Banshee on its way, one Marauder. And I don't think that's going to be the ideal scenario. As now the Hellions do manage to go in, do manage to actually get a decent amount of drones, because there was nothing here as well for Peppy into the main. And should be morphing into those Hellbats now. Banshee is out to help with the defense, as 1 medevac does go down to the Spore. Banshee to help with Bell. Tank is out. No Ravages to actually bottle it down, so we'll survive for quite a bit. But it looks like most of those Hellbats, all of those Hellbats will go down, as well as the medevacs. But a decent amount of damage actually done by HuT, but Peppy did more. That's the problem.
Yeah, it was a very interesting scenario where both players were able to hold. Both players did sustain damage, as you said, but because of this Banshee, like, HuT will be able to clean up whatever comes his way. Problem is that Peppy still has the better economy at the moment, but honestly, not by that much.
Yeah, well, Stim almost finished. Yeah, still, I don't think he's got that 2nd Rax yet, unless it's hidden. No, he hasn't. He's just still be going on this deck. Okay, now getting the 2nd Rack, should be getting 3rd as well. So he is transitioning out of this, and does see the mutas as well, so he does know maybe throw up an eBay 4 on the way, actually.
Yeah, this is disastrous for HuT. HuT was banking on those Banshees to deal some damage across the map. He was not expecting mutas, and now the mutas, they were able to clean everything up, and now the mutas have map control.
Was done as well. And that 4 is going to be a long, long way from finishing. GG is called. Peppy going to qualify.
GG, well played, Peppy. After a pretty explosive game number 4 there, very aggressive, able to just delay HuT's natural for so long. The follow-up push dealt enough damage, and those mutas were the nail in the coffin. As you said, Peppy, he qualifies for ANZ Champs.
Yeah, and now has to face off against Pez for seeding.
I need to catch up on this Discord talk. What is happening today? What is...